If you will assist. If you will assist, it needs DILG and Chief PNP approval. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yes, sir, it is approved.
You will only assist if it is approved by the Chief PNP. You will not assist insofar as the request of the PD is concerned if not approved by the PNP Chief.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct, sir.
Can the provincial director do it on his own?
No, sir, because he needs to course through to me. Then I will also submit the request for the approval of the Chief PNP, sir.
Before he can do anything?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Was a crime being committed, sir, at that point in time?
Magandang araw mga kaibigan. Ito, super galing, kahanga-hanga itong ating Senador Chis Escudero sa ginawang Senate hearing tungkol sa Oaminal Dumanog case. Talagang nabuking ang kapalpakan ng DILG at PNP sa ginawa nilang illegal na pag-aresto sa matandang mayor. So, panoorin natin itong part ito sa hearing at talagang mapapahanga tayo sa galing ni Senator Escudero.
No, Your Honor, wala pong na-receive ang aming DILG, ang aming regional or ang aming provincial na humihingi po ng assistance ang sangguniang panlalawigan to implement their decisions.
May I ask Governor Oaminal, sir? In the position paper of the province, he stated that the province did.
Thank you very much, Senator Escudero. With the courtesy of the distinguished chair, may I be allowed to first read my prepared statement to narrate the chronology of events before I can answer the I can respond to the question of the Honorable Escudero.
Perhaps, Governor, you can submit it.
Yes.
Submit it. How the
Less than 5 minutes, sir.
sir, can we allow the good governor since he's here?
Yes, Senator, Your Honor, Senator Escudero, we already made declaration a while ago that tapusin muna natin itong sa part ng Dumanog, then we will let Congressman Oaminal answer after that. Is it okay with Your Honor?
I submit, Your Honor. I submit, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, can I ask the governor, did you request assistance from the LG?
Yes, Your Honor. Not only from the local DILG, but I went to see Secretary Abalos in order to ask guidance on that impasse, Your Honor, which could be part of my preparatory statement, that visit of Secretary Abalos.
To go directly to the point, according to the chairman, he will allow you to make your opening statement later, Governor Oaminal. But to go to the point I'm trying to drive at, so there was a legal order to clear the municipality of the apparent illegal occupation of the mayor. Would that be correct, General Lacorda? Legal ba yung operation na ginawang yun? Was there something illegal being done which necessitated the intervention of the law enforcement people?
As far as the utilization of the force, Your Honor, particularly in the area of the Manhog, I left that to the discretion of the Pro-Ten because since then and as of the moment, except for telephone calls, I have not received any official communications to that effect for the implementation of such order, Your Honor.
So it was at the level only of the province and the region, I presume? General Cop?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, there was a request. Actually, I submitted to the provincial director of Misamis Occidental, but the PD of MISOC submitted to me the request to clear the office of the mayor from the unauthorized persons occupying the said office. So we answered it, stating that it is not, it is outside the authority of Pro-Ten to extract the mayor, sir. We explained to them that request for police assistance must be submitted by the DILG 10, and it must be endorsed to the Chief PNP for his approval. And upon his directive, within 3 days, we will implement, if ever it will be approved, Your Honor.
If you will assist. If you will assist, it needs DILG and Chief PNP approval. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yes, sir, it is approved.
You will only assist if it is approved by the Chief PNP. You will not assist insofar as the request of the PD is concerned if not approved by the PNP Chief.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct, sir.
Can the provincial director do it on his own?
No, sir, because he needs to course through to me. Then I will also submit the request for the approval of the Chief PNP, sir.
Before he can do anything?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Was a crime being committed, sir, at that point in time? The mayor was legally suspended, supposedly. The mayor supposedly was illegally occupying because there was an acting mayor already. In other words, there was a crime being committed technically. Is your position that the PD or the municipal chief of police still needs your permission and the permission of the chief PNP before they can implement the law? How is that? Or is this your position because it's politically charged?
Sir,
Na may mga kaibigan yung mayor, may kaibigan yung governor, di ba? Baka maipit. That's not standard operating procedure, sir.
that situation is outside the authority of police regional office then to intervene, considering that it became a legal issue, and I believe the court has the power to act on it, sir.
Sir, are you a lawyer, sir?
No, sir.
The courts can intervene if they issue a TRO or a status quo ante-order, in which case, hindi pwedeng implement yung order ng provincial suspension na wala rin naman binibigay yung DILG. But if you are saying that the court should order it, there is a procedure in the local government code for the suspension of public officials. Again, I go back. Bakit kailangan umakyat hanggang sa Chief PNP to implement a simple order? And while I'm at it, my last point, Mr. Chairman, I won't belabor the point. What was the chief of police of the municipality doing all throughout this time? In theory, as will be discussed later perhaps, the mayor was suspended via a legal order following the procedure and due process in the province by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. An acting mayor was designated following the rule of succession in the local government code. The mayor occupied the municipal building, the office of the municipal mayor and office of the vice mayor for 16 days. All throughout this time, sir, what was your municipal chief of police doing? Aiding and abetting the mayor or aiding and abetting the supposed acting mayor? Where was he all throughout this time?
The chief of police, Major Sumagang, actually, we instructed him to maintain peace and order because of the situation, that it's a political standoff, and it is outside the authority of Ruten to intervene, sir, as I mentioned a while ago.
Sir, how is it beyond your authority? How did it become political?
Because it became a legal issue, sir, na marami kasi namang, there were a lot of similar incidents, sir, wherein the PNP just tasked to maintain. That is our role, based on the police operation.
So, wag mangampi, i-maintain lang ang peace and order. Eh, sino mag-i-implement ng legitimate order? When will you finally act? If the Chief PNP orders you? As in this case, it took 16 days. Is that in the manual, General Lacorda? That if it is politically charged, can you cite the provision, sir? That you will not intervene and wait for, I don't know, the ILG, the courts, or whatever?
May I just read the provisions of our
Please, sir.
protocol, sir? During implementation of final decisions or orders of the court in civil cases of quasi-judicial bodies and of administrative bodies within their jurisdiction, police assistance in the implementation of final decisions or orders or resolutions of the court in civil cases of quasi-judicial bodies and of administrative bodies, except cases with issued temporary restraining order or injunction, all requests for police assistance, regardless of which courts, quasi-judicial bodies, or administrative bodies render the final decision or order, shall be submitted to the RD of the PRO where the police assistance will be rendered. And the following are the requirements for police assistance. The request for police assistance in implementation of final decision, orders, writs, shall be acted only upon compliance of the following conditions. The request for police assistance is based on an order of the court, quasi-judicial bodies, or administrative bodies. B, the written request for police assistance, including the certification, shall be signed by the sheriff or equivalent officer in quasi-judicial bodies or administrative bodies. C, the request is filed at least 5 working days prior to the actual implementation. And D, the original document of the final decision, order, or resolution must be presented. And in the absence of the same, a copy of duly authenticated by the clerk of court or other authorized representative of the court, quasi-judicial bodies or administrative bodies will suffice us. That's why I gave the full jurisdiction to the PRO, sir.
You delegated it, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, the point I would like to make is this particular policy of the PNP should be reviewed because there will be many situations wherein there will be two opposing sides taking two separate positions, and I agree with you that PNP should not be placed in the middle, and the PNP should not take sides. But neither should it sit idly by if there is a violation of the law being committed right in front of their faces. The provision governing perhaps, Mr. Chairman, General Corda, is final. Some decisions are not yet final but may be executory already. Kung hihintayin nyo talaga maging final, then certain violations of the law would be committed for a longer period of time because the reverse would be true. You don't need a final order in all situations to implement the law. What you need is the absence of a temporary restraining order to implement that law. If there is an executory order, final or not, issued by the courts or any administrative agency, certiorari general accorda can be filed for 6 months after the incident, or even more in some cases. So when is it going to be? When will it finally become final? So at some point in time, that policy should be clarified. There was a clear succession in the order of leadership in that municipality, given the suspension of the mayor, and there was no TRO issued by the court. Merong acting mayor. It's as clear as day. Although I'm sure it's subject to pressure points from their friends from both sides, but that is not the point. The point is, it should not only be limited to final and executory decisions. There are certain things that the police should implement and enforce. Kesa ibigay niyo sa kamay ng tao yun o sa ibigay niyo sa tao ng civilian, mas maganda na pong sa inyo na humihingi ng tulong. Again, whether it's final or not, I hope you clarify that particular provision or section in your manual, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir, I agree with regards to the provision, observation on the provisions of our policy, sir. But may I emphasize also that at that particular day, I was in constant coordination with the lawyer and the family of Mayor Dumanhog. That's why I also, part of the mission of the presence of the police force there, as I gave instruction to the Pro-Ten, was to really maintain peace and order. And also, if there are infractions of the law, to implement, because there were some allegations imputed or reported to me, which I also relate to the regional director of Pro-Ten, and to some extent, this was also disputed by the ground personnel. But nevertheless, sir, these were all related to the provision to the regional director, sir.
One more point, Mr. Chairman, before I yield. Sir, again, it's politically charged and you knew it. That's why you were sensitive about it. And I guess your regional director was sensitive about it too. The least the PNP could have done was hear both sides. If you've been hearing from the mayor, then hear from the acting mayor as well what the situation is. Or the very least, di ba, mga polis naman, investigador, ito investigahan. Ano ba yung sitwasyon? Ba't mo nagkaganto? Sino ba yung may karapatan? Sino ba yung walang karapatan? Ano ba ang basehan? And act accordingly, not as judge, based on what the final governing authorities decided on the matter. In this particular instance, without the DILG, it would be the sangguniang panlalawigan. It would be the sangguniang panlalawigan with authority to discipline a mayor, a local chief executive within the province. It would be the governor with the authority to preventively suspend a local chief executive as well, without need of any interference from the DILG unless the matter is appealed before them. Sorry, sir, I know these matters because I served as governor as well and had to obey and follow these procedures. So please kindly look into it because there is no need really to make it more difficult than it is already on the ground, so that the PNP and the chief PNP will not be put in the middle of warring political factions or arguing political groups. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Senator Chis Escudero. Before Senator Jinggoy, Senator Tolentino would like to isang question na because he's going to another hearing. Yeah, you have the floor.
Alis na po kasi ako, have to preside at 11:30.
You have the floor, Senator Tolentino.
Two questions lang po, two questions. Earlier, coming from the line of questioning of Senator Escudero, Attorney Alday of the DILG. Ano po kayo doon? USEC, ASEC, or what?
Your Honor, I am the representative of Undersecretary Llamas, Your Honor.
Undersecretary Llamas. So Undersecretary Llamas is what?
Undersecretary for External Legal and Legislative Affairs,
Yes,
Your
earlier
Honor.
on, you mentioned something that walang naging aksyon ang DILG. Sa unang tanong ni Senator Escudero, but I have here a document coming from the DILG signed by Attorney Juan Victor Llamas. Familiar ka sa kanya?
Yes,
Yun ba
Your
yun?
Honor. Yes, Your
Yun
Honor.
yung boss mo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. page 2 of the said document coming from Attorney Llamas addressed to Wilhelm Suico, Regional Director DILG. Magkatabi yata kayo ngayon. Ang nakalagay po dito, in response to your request that this department is constrained to recognize the preventive suspension against the spouses dumanhog, considering that blah blah blah. That's page 2 of the letter dated June 9, 2023. Are you familiar with this? Coming sa boss mo. I have a copy here. So, hindi ka familiar dito? Ikaw ang representative ni Atty. Llamas.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, you're not familiar with this document?
No, I am familiar, sir.
Oh, so, sinabi mo kanina walang naging action yung DILG. Nakalagay dito, the department is constrained to recognize the preventive suspension.
No, Your Honor, what I said earlier is the department will not act on the legality or illegality of any preventive suspensions since the Department of the Interior local government does not exercise quasi-judicial functions.
Yes, I recognize that statement. But what is the meaning of this? This department is constrained to recognize. Nire-recognize yung aksyon ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Ano ibig sabihin nun?
Your Honor, pursuant to the memorandum...
Isay natin, meron ba talagang naging letter na ganito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, there is a letter indeed. So nakalagay, recognize. So ni-recognize, at teka muna, under ba ang kapulisan ba, under ng anong kagawaran?
Under ng DILG.
DILG rin, ano? DILG rin. So,
Attached agency.
ni-recognize ng DILG Secretary, yung boss mo, si Yusek Llamas, yung suspension ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan. So, ibig sabihin po ba niyan, yung recognition ay hindi parte ng inyong quasi-judicial function?
Your Honor, recognition basically, sir, pursuant to...
So, educate us. Ano ibig sabihin ng recognition?
Just recognizing that there is a Sangguniang Panlalawigan decision for preventive suspension, Your Honor.
So, with that recognition, yung bang opening statement ko kanina, ni-recognize nyo rin na nagkaroon ng administrative complaint?
Yes, Your Honor.
Nagkaroon ng hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Nagkaroon ng presentation of evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, nagkaroon ng desisyon?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, pwede mo ba sabihin na ni-recognize nyo yung naging proseso ng Sanggunian?
We do not decide on whether or not...
Interpretation mo na yan, pero nakalagay dito, recognition eh. So, Mr. Chairman, this document would show, and this would be part of the records of these proceedings, that the DILG indeed recognized. And the Philippine National Police, being an attached agency, Attorney Alday, of the DILG, would likewise, considering that you're the mother organization, should likewise recognize the suspension order. Di ba? So mali na yung sinabi mo kanina na wala kayong alam dito sa naging proceedings. Binabacktrack natin kasi yung unang pasok ko dito, I'm coming from, was due process observed? Was due process observed? Attorney Alday.
Your Honor, we do not decide on whether or not there is due process observed.
Recognize nyo
We simply recognize that there are decisions and without any stay orders from any other agency like the Office of the President.
Can be implemented, can be executed.
It is executed, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kinlaro ko lang po yan before I go to my other hearing. Maraming salamat.
Thank you,
po sa
Senator
pagkakataon.
Tolentino. Thank you very much.